Sometimes it's hard to pick a movie to watch. Whether it's for viewing by just yourself or with a group, whether you have a large physical media collection or are selecting from a streaming service, every once in a while, the amount of options just becomes overwhelming. Several factors matter. What's been on your mind lately? Do you watch a movie you've seen a million times or one that you've never seen before? What mood are you in? How much time do you have? That last question, for the purposes of this video, interests me the most. And by answering it, we present ourselves with the topic of today's video. If you had 24 hours left to live, what movies would you watch? Needless to say, the stress of picking a movie with a time limit can take its toll on you. So going into this, trying to pick a selection of films that adds up to 24 hours or 1,440 minutes, because for whatever stupid reason, movies all are listed in minutes instead of hours. I don't know why. Basically anything applies. You can pick whatever you want. And again, even though I'm titling this video movies, you can do TV show episodes as well, or TV movies if you want. The only real major restriction is that it cannot exceed those 1,440 minutes or 24 hours. What becomes even more challenging than trying to make all of your selections fit into that time frame is picking what you're going to watch based on how you're going to feel. If this is going to be your last day of life, you're naturally going to want to pick something that makes you feel a certain way. How are you feeling about dying, or expiring, I should say, at the end of those 24 hours in this hypothetical scenario? Normally, this is the part of the video where I would explain to you what inspired me to make this video or where I got the idea, but this actually wasn't my idea. I've been working on several video projects for the last few weeks, but whenever I decided to get in the car with my younger brother and go for a drive, it was actually that brother, Morgan, who you might know from our Disney soundtracks video or appearing in a few of my live streams, who introduced me to the idea for this topic, saying that he thought it would be a really good video for me to tackle. So instead of me just taking all the credit and having all the fun, I thought this would be a good interactive video, giving all of you the same question. What movies would you watch if you had 24 hours after giving you mine? And since it was his idea to do this video, I thought I'd let him talk about it for a little bit and have Morgan show up in this video and give you his 24 hours left to live film selections. I'm really gonna have to think of a way to shorten that.
One. Okay. This video was my idea because I was going through just like a subscription feeds popping up on your phone, and Watch Mojo uploaded a video saying movies to watch with 24 hours or something like that. And I was like, I don't watch Mojo anymore, but I was like, interesting. And I was taking a shit when I saw it, and I was like, okay, let me think. And as the poopies were falling out, I was like, what would you do with your last 24 hours on Earth? What were the last movies you would watch? Last movies, TV show, what would you watch? And considering for Mason, he's usually the movie guy, so I chose movies. So I went to him and I said, hey, check this idea out, this little inquiry I had. And I gave him the idea. You have exactly 24 hours. You can't go over. You could be a little bit under. From midnight to 12, the whole 24 hours. What are the movies you watch? What are the movies you choose that equal up to the exact amount, which is 1,440 minutes. That's how much you have. And we both made a list. I made my list. Do an animatic. Number 1, and you have it like fall in. Number 1, Good Will Hunting. I've never seen Good Will Hunting, and I love Robin Williams, and we all know this from my Disney song thing that we did. I said I love Robin Williams, and I want to have one movie I've never seen before, so I chose Good Will Hunting. I see YouTube Shorts, you get movie clips, and I see it, and I'm always like, I should watch that, and I never do. And that's just my brief summary of it. It looks well written, it looks well acted, of course, just because of the man himself, Robin Williams, and also Meth Damon and Ben Affleck. They seem like they're good in it too. So that's my number one. Number one done. Let's see. Number two, pull it down. Number two, Transformers, the Michael Bay one. That's the one we're starting with. The one that I know. The rest of the movies are movies I know that I grew up watching and that I love. Michael Bay Transformers. It's not a great movie, the human part, but the robot part, which is why you watch it. Transformers is just why you watch it. It's freaking good. The dialogue is like straight from the 80s cartoons and the movies. I love it so much. It's my feel-good movie. I watch it when I'm bored or I have nothing to do and I want to watch something. That's usually what I pull up for the most part. The music is fantastic. When Optimus Prime first comes up, he shows up and he starts transforming. The music that's playing, you can't play it because it's copyright, but this is the music that plays. If you can put play 1 second of it. Ready? That's the one here. That's the 1 second you get. If you want to find out the rest, go watch the movie. That's number two. Number two done. Take the 2 and then it slides off the screen. There it goes. Bye. All right, number 3, The Descent. Where do you go after heaven? Hell. The Descent. Right after my feeling good movie, I want to go and just immediately be scared. The Descent is probably my favorite horror movie of all time because usually with most horror movies I can watch it and be like, I know what I can do in that situation. I could probably survive that. Not The Descent. Well, I know one way I could survive it is just not go cave diving like a dumbass. But if for some reason I wanted to go cave diving, which would never happen, but if I wanted to, I don't know what I would do in that situation. And to me, that makes a good horror movie. If you can put me in that situation where I don't feel comfortable and I'm anxious the whole time, that means you made a good horror movie. And The Descent does that. When she's in the poopy and the blood puddle swimming around scuba diving and she doesn't know, like, it's great. I'm not going to spoil it for those of you that haven't seen it. That's definitely what I would want to watch because it's just the whole vibe of it in general. It makes me feel uneasy and I just love that feeling. That's number 3. Number 3 gone. I'm going to take it and after watching a horrible, horrible movie making me feel uncomfortable, I want to feel happy again. I want to feel comforted. Iron Giant. That movie, the sole purpose of that movie, the main idea is what if a gun didn't want to be a gun anymore? And that is just lovely. And the whole acting of it, Vin Diesel, for some reason, he just loves playing characters that have one line of dialogue. And that's okay, because that's pretty much all he can do is just say one line, and that's all he's good at. The whole movie just makes me laugh. It makes me cry. It makes me feel comfortable. I love Kent Mansley and that beautiful chiseled jaw man. I love him. Launch the missile now! I love him. That's my favorite part of the movie. I definitely clipped the mic there, but that's okay. That's number 4. Mason's going to give way better details when it comes to his movies. I'm just talking about why I love them so much. Number 4. I ate number 4. Number 4 is gone. The Giant's gone. He blew up. Spoilers. After the Giant's gone, he's gone. I then want to go into a movie that makes me think, and a movie that gives me that oh shit moment, The Prestige. Also, a lot of my movies have the at the beginning. There's like 5 or 6 movies that have the at the first title. I wasn't planned. That's just me. The Prestige, though. I love Hugh Jackman. I love Christian Bale. That movie, when I first saw it for the first time, I had no idea what was happening in it. Mason just had it on downstairs, and I was like, I got nothing to do. I'm going to watch this movie, what it's about. It's 2 magicians just going against each other. It's about who's got the higher ego. Also, you got Nikola Tesla, played by David Bowie, and that was just out of nowhere. It's like, here's David Bowie. Oh, okay, cool. That's all. I'm fine. Are you fine? That's cool. I love The Prestige. The ending, I'm not going to spoil the ending. I won't have a lot of spoilers except for the Iron Giant one I just did. The ending is fantastic. The acting is great. It's just so fun. If you want a movie that really makes you think, and when you watch it, you have that oh moment, and you want to go back and rewatch it immediately and figure out the context clues that leads to the ending, the twist ending, The Prestige is definitely one that you should add to your list. Number 5, this is magic. Watch. It's gone. See, that was in my hand. It disappeared. It faded off in the wind. It's dust. After The Prestige, since I'm already talking about Chrissy Bailey, or Boy, The Dark Knight. One of my favorite superhero movies of all time. I love Heath Ledger as a Joker. One of the best Jokers next to Mark Hamill. I love the music. I love just the whole vibe of it in general. From start to finish, it is a non-stop, just a badass movie. I love the whole idea of the Joker's idea of like pitting the city against each other towards the end with the two boats. It literally represents who the Joker is and why he exists. Because then he realizes like there's something different about this hero, and like I want to crack him. I want to make him break. Everyone has a breaking point, and that's what he's trying to prove in the movie. And I love that. So we're gonna have two number 6s, two boats, two 6s. They blow up. You got this, right? You're gonna do this, all right? Speaking of superhero movies, probably the best superhero movie of all time, Spider-Man 2. We're going straight from DC over to Marvel. Do I even have to explain why this movie's perfect? I don't have to. They released this movie in theaters recently, like a few months ago, and went and saw it in theaters, and I was just giddy the whole time. My little ass cheeks were flying up out of the seat. I was so happy. I was kicking my little feet like a little toddler. The movie makes me feel good. And if you haven't seen it, what are you doing? Pull it up. I think it's on Netflix still. If not, then it's probably on Disney Plus. Go watch it. It's fun. You don't even have to watch the first one. You just go watch the second one. It's fine. You don't have to, Spider-Man 2, since with this number 7, I think, we're going to have the number. It's going to swing across. There, because it's Spider-Man swinging. There it goes. Go get him, Tiger. There he goes. See, he's gone. Speaking of 2, Shrek 2. We're on the track of sequels. The best sequel of all time is definitely Shrek 2. As a kid, when you watch it, there's a lot of jokes that go over your head as a kid. And you watch it as an adult, you're like, that is really funny. Jokes that probably shouldn't have been being made. Like with the O.J. Simpson joke, he got a white Bronco and all that. It's just, it's a fun movie. And that's, again, these are just my recommendations. Also, my last 24 hours, I want to feel good. I want to be laughing, having ha 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 hee hee. I don't want to be depressed the whole time. So Shrek 2 is on there. Also, the I Need a Hero, best ending to any movie I've seen when it comes to music in general. There's the number, here it is. It's going to come in and just kind of spin and then fly off. There it goes. After Shrek 2, where do I go after that? Sadness. I know I just said I want to feel good and be happy, but I got to have one moment that makes me really sad. Episode 3. Revenge of the Sith. It's probably my favorite Star Wars movie of all time when it comes to just acting and the story. It really is a tragedy. The whole reason why Anakin does this is because he loves his wife so much, and he wants to protect her just from the bat. He didn't care about anything else. He just wants to save the ones he loves, and that is so sad when you find out what happens to Anakin. I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling here because, again, I don't want to spoil a lot. This is just my list, so don't judge me. Do you agree? Yeah. Okay. And it's going to fall. Here's the top half of the 9. Here's the bottom half of the 9 on the floor. And then it's just gone. You know what I'm referencing. So the rest of the list now, musicals are my favorite. And I just love music in general. And that's why me and Mason did the other video about music and all that. So the most of the ending of the final part of my list is musicals. Right after episode 3 of Star Wars, Greatest Showman. Love that movie. Again, yeah, Hugh Jackman's on here again. I'm sorry. Me and Mason, I think, reference this movie all the time. Up there on my wall, you can't see it. I have the vinyl set of the Greatest Showman soundtrack, and I love it. The movie is fun. I can reenact a lot of the dances and the music, especially when Hugh Jackman and Zac Efron are in the bar doing the shots and stuff. I sing that song all the time, and every time it's on, I don't even have to watch the scene. I literally can do almost the choreography perfect. It's cringy, I know, but I just love that movie. It's fun. I saw it in theaters like 3 times. It was fun. And the Twerk Along edition is also really fun. You should watch the Twerk Along edition. It's a good time. The 1 and the 0, since it's 10, they're going to separate. You know what I mean? Because it's like Hugh Jackman and his wife, like they have a separation in the movie. And then he sings the "From Now On." They're going to come back to each other. And they're just going to, I guess, go down. After Greatest Showman, we have Hercules. This is probably one of my favorite Disney movies of all time. My favorite Disney musical song is Go the Distance by Roger Fart. Love his voice, love his singing. It's a song about finding who you are, your potential, and like knowing there's got to be more to why you're here. You got to know your purpose, and it's beautifully sung. Also, it's a funny movie and has one of the best villains ever, and I love it so much. It makes me happy. Again, I'm ending the list with mostly happy and just feeling good, getting jiggy with it, with the singing and the dancing. The movie's great. It's gonna, not gonna say it's in love. It's gonna look at me, get close, and go no, and it's gonna walk away. The rest of this is kind of weird because I know I said movies, but I want to end it. I guess you can count it as a whole movie in general because it's a series. We can count TV shows and series. My favorite TV show of all time and series is Avatar: The Last Airbender. We're ending the day with the greatest show of all time. Just flat out, bar none. Nothing has ever made me feel so many emotions like this show. I rewatch it at least once a year. And we're going to end it with one of my favorite episodes, which is the Ember Island Players. That episode is funny. It's considered a filler episode. It is, but to me, it doesn't feel like one just because of how funny it is and just how it kind of is like recapping the whole show before the ending of the actual show happens. It's kind of like one of those last few episodes. It's like, okay, we're getting to the end. But here we're just going to have like a funny way of recapping the show by not recapping it in a way, but having the main characters watch what they've gone through over the years throughout the show and the series and their struggles, but being told in such a botched and shitty way by their enemies. It's just funny. It's great. And you definitely should check it out if you haven't watched it yet. The number 12, I'm going to release a sonic wave from my mouth. I'm going to... It's gone. That's what I'm going to do. After Ember Island Players, we're going to end it with the finale. This, actually, funny enough, on Letterboxd, you can put it here, it's considered a movie because it's like 92 minutes long. If you watch all 4 episodes back to back to back, it's a movie. And it's the final 4-part finale of the show. The acting and the animation and the writing of it in general just goes so hard. And how Aang goes off and visits the giant-ass turtle, and then he learns that you can defeat the Fire Lord in a way where you don't have to kill him. And the whole point is that the whole show Aang has been led up to, you're going to have to defeat him. You have to defeat the Fire Lord. You have to kill him. Aang don't want to do that. He's all about peace, and he's an air nomad, and they're all about being non-violent. So then he's like, all right, I have to beat him. I have to come to terms with it. And he figures out how to do that by taking away his bending. And it's also just a feel-good moment at the very end where he's with his family, the family that he's been through all the struggle with all this time, even with his enemy Zuko, who was trying to beat him the whole time. Zuko realizes that I've been fighting for the wrong cause. I have my uncle. It's feel good, and the music at the very end, and then Aang and Katara kiss. The whole time they've been trying to finally do their love, and they finally get to love each other. It makes me happy. That's why it's great. And I have to finally, at the end of the day, where do I go after being happy? I want to sit back. I want to watch the sun set on my last 24 hours. Tales of Ba Sing Se. Specifically, we all know why I watched that episode. It's because of Leaf from the Vine. Okay? You don't even have to explain myself. As the sun is setting, I just want to hear Leaf from the vine, falling so slow, break that soldier boy. And there it goes. It's gone. As I sit there, I close my eyes. And then I die after I take a little nap. And I think that's the best way to spend my last 24 hours with media, with movies in general. And with that total, I have 1,437 minutes with 3 minutes to spare of the last 24 hours. You can't go over. You can go slightly under. That's what I have. 3 minutes left to spare after watching the episode. I'll just sit and I think for a moment, and I close my eyes and rest with my final 3 minutes on Earth, and then I pass. From start to finish. So in total, we have these movies: Good Will Hunting, Transformers, The Descent, Iron Giant, The Prestige, Dark Knight, Spider-Man 2, Shrek 2, Episode 3 of Star Wars, The Revenge of the Sith, Greatest Showman, Hercules, Ember Island Players, Sozin's Comment episodes, and then Tales of Ba Sing Se, all on the screen here. They're covering my face. That's it. That's my list. And they're gone. Get them out of here. I die peacefully. This is my total runtime. You could put up all the minutes if you want. However you're going to edit this, I don't know how. But that's my list. And let us know yours in the comments. Now, back to Mason. You should do like a flip, like a clock wipe. No, not clock wipe. Take the screen and like flip it. And when it flips, it's you. It's you on the other side. Do whatever you want. Also, I'm wearing a cool shirt. It's got skeletons on it because death.
Thank you so much, Morgan, for giving me so much editing work to do. And now, of course, it's on to me. It is my turn to answer that question. This list for me went through several iterations. I actually have several pieces of paper where I wrote down all the minutes that I needed to add up and took movies out, put movies in. I thought I would make it easier on myself by picking a lot longer movies, but then there were some movies that, thinking, oh, this is the last day that I have, I would really like to watch. Some of my favorite movies of all time made it in here. A lot of these I would consider to be some of my favorites ever made. What's going to be very fun about this video, I think, is the interactive nature of it, where all of you can leave comments down below telling me your movies that you picked out for those last 24 hours, or you can message me directly on Discord if you join my Patreon, the Mason90k patron, patreon.com/Mason90k, where you can join for only a few bucks, where you can talk to me on Discord as well as get exclusive content only for Patreon. I can't wait to see what you all say, and without further ado, I think it's time for me to talk about the last movies that I would watch if I were given that 24-hour time limit. So to begin my day, I think I would want to go back to something a little more nostalgic. When I was a kid, I used to wake up every single morning before school, and the first thing that would be on TV was SpongeBob SquarePants. It was also on TV whenever I came home from school. It's one of my favorite shows of all time, and I thought that if I was going to start this day with a really good feel and a good laugh, I would need to start the day with, in my opinion, one of the funniest movies ever made.
This is what a real mustache looks like.
Is he a mermaid?
In my many years of watching films, I have watched several comedies that have been considered to be the greatest ever made, and while I do highly respect those, I don't think any of them have made me laugh as consistently as this movie. Every line is quotable, every gag is perfectly executed, the voice acting is flawless from across the board, the new characters are all here, it is insane as the characters from the show. It truly feels like the culmination of everything that Steven Hillenburg wanted to create for the original series, those first few seasons being an important show for me and sort of developed the kind of sense of humor that I have. I'm sorry. But my reasons for picking it are very simple. I want to start out my day with something that's going to make me feel good, make me laugh, and put me in a great mood to begin this last 24 hours that I have. So there was really no other option for my first movie than SpongeBob SquarePants, the movie. So coming in for the second film, I wanted to do something that was going to be also sort of feel good, but with a little more tension, a little more excitement, a little more thrills, and a little dash of horror in there. So I went with my first Spielberg film, the first of this video, and certainly not the last. As everybody knows, he is my favorite filmmaker, and the video that I started this entire channel with covered this movie. It's Jurassic Park. For me, this film represents the very best of what a big budget Hollywood film can be. Everything is executed to near perfection. The direction is on a whole nother level. I mean, it's Spielberg. The cinematography by Dean Cundey is incredible. Obviously, the groundbreaking special effects are still as incredible as they were the day it was released. They still hold up. The musical score by John Williams never fails to transcend and send me to another plane of existence whenever I hear it. If you were to kind of distill everything that makes a big Hollywood smash hit into a single film, it's Jurassic Park. Yet, kind of beneath all of that spectacle, there is an intelligence here. There is a message to that story, a sort of Frankenstein story here about playing God and the consequences of that make this a much smarter movie than most of the big blockbusters that it inspired and came before it as well. I mean, without this movie, there simply wouldn't be my desire for movies or to make movies and become a filmmaker myself, which I hope to one day. So without this movie, I wouldn't be who I am. A lot of these movies, that's going to be a recurring theme. They're very important to who I am as a person, and I would revisit them anytime, even if I didn't have this deadline. So if I had one more day left, Jurassic Park would definitely be watched. So while Jurassic Park is the example of everything big and amazing about Hollywood, this wondrous spectacle of a Hollywood blockbuster, I think to follow that up would be sort of going down in mood a little bit, something a bit more surreal and a sort of direct contrast to that celebration of the greatness of Hollywood with a film that I feel is sort of a look at the nightmare world of Hollywood. I had to include one David Lynch film in here, and Mulholland Drive changed the way that I look at movies completely.
Yo estaba bien por un tiempo, volviendo a
This is a dark, transcendent, dreamy, nightmare, sexy, haunting film. One of those films where I can confidently say there is nothing like it, nor will there be anything like it ever again. It is a vision that was crafted with such confidence and style and mystery, and it's a film that encourages you not to watch a film just for the plot. You're not really watching this to see what actually happens beat by beat for the story. You're there to allow it to transcend, allow it to take you to a place you've never been before. There are plenty of questions, but there are no easy answers, and the point is not the answers. The point is, how do you feel when you're watching it? Every time I've revisited Mulholland Drive, I've noticed something new about it. I feel differently about it every time, but the one thing that is consistent is I do think it is a masterpiece of filmmaking, and I don't think I would analyze film the way that I do now without having seen Mulholland Drive, or the other films of David Lynch for that matter. But if I've got to pick one for this last day, it's going to be Mulholland Drive. So with Mulholland Drive being kind of a surreal nightmare horror film, I wanted to actually go way back from like the early 2000s where that film came out, all the way back to 1931, back to the foundations of what we call Golden Age film and some of the foundations of blockbuster horror films. The very first Universal monster horror film, Dracula. And I'm actually going to go ahead and include the follow-up film as well, the next two. It'll be Dracula, and then it will be Frankenstein.
Children of the night, what music they make.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! In the name of God! Now I know what it feels like to be God!
I am so obsessed with the Universal monster films that I have been writing a very, very, very long video covering them for almost, I want to say, for a year now, and that video is nowhere near done because I just have so much to say about them. As with the previous films that changed me in some way, the Universal monster films, specifically Frankenstein and Dracula, the very first two that I watched, made me fall in love with the horror genre, a genre that I have talked about many, 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 many times on this channel. It was my first look into the dark and macabre world of film, but it was also my first look into Golden Age film, the classic age of Hollywood. This led me to watch classic films, Casablanca, Citizen Kane, all those old films. They came after Dracula and Frankenstein for me. They were the first. The performances from both of the lead actors here, Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff, still stand the test of time and have set the foundations for how people will play those characters for the rest of time. The makeup by Jack Pierce on Frankenstein's monster specifically set the standard for horror movie monster makeup that would be recreated by Rick Baker and legends like that for years and years and years. These films started what is now famous for being the very first cinematic universe, something that we're very used to now, with the Universal monster films ushering in crossovers and a shared continuity, as messy as that continuity may have been. But looking at these films individually, one of the most exciting things about watching it is seeing how Frankenstein evolved from Dracula. Dracula was the very first sound horror film produced by Universal, and because of that, it's a bit janky, it's a bit stagey, it's very quiet, there's no musical soundtrack, and because of that, it adds an eeriness to it that I think makes it uncomfortable to watch, and for many, dated, and it is very dated, and it's very flawed, but I think those flaws are charming in the fact that you can see the building blocks of what horror films were going to use to the current day. And even more amazingly, the building blocks that Frankenstein would build even higher. Frankenstein is way better shot, it's better performed by most of the actors. It's a leap forward, and I love watching the modern monster film, the modern horror film, come to life from these two films by watching them back to back. So there was no way I could do just one. The next two, 4 and 5, are Dracula and Frankenstein, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Staying within the realm of classic black and white film here, I started thinking about the nature of this challenge, this quest to find films that fit into 1,440 minutes, because it is our hypothetical last day of life. And I started looking at films that I love that challenged the idea of death, the philosophy of the afterlife. What is there to do with life? In trying to cheat death, are you cheating your actual living of life? Did you live to the fullest? And those questions are presented in Ingmar Bergman's groundbreaking of The Seventh Seal.
Du fick svart.
Det passar ju bäst så. Inte sant?
A film that actually has several characters with several plots going on at once, each of them having their own struggle to get through in the film, but the most important being the knight Antonius Bloch playing death itself in a game of chess to get out of dying. The shots in this film I would die for. The cinematography is incredible. It's transporting. The performance from Max von Sydow is incredible, especially when he is speaking to death and lamenting the idea of death itself and questioning the afterlife, questioning if there is anything beyond. He wants a guarantee. He knows that death is certain, which is why he does not question death, but he's not certain in a god. He is not certain in an afterlife, and he wants that question to be answered. And I think this is a very heavy film, but it's also a film that doesn't necessarily end in a complete bummer. I don't think this is a depressing ending film dealing with death. I think it is a film that treats death as natural, a film that treats the end as something we're all going toward, and we have to accept that and examine how we're living in the present. It also touches upon life in the Crusades, life during the plague. It is a doomy film, but it is not a hopeless film, if that makes any sense. I was blown away when I first watched it, and I've watched it several times since, and I always, similar to Mulholland Drive, get something new out of it every time that I watch it. And there was really no way that I could do My Last Day without it. So with the heaviness of The Seventh Seal not really coming from the story and plot, but from the ideas that it discusses, not focusing on being a typical narrative structure, I wanted the next film to be something that goes back to a very archetypal type of storytelling. Heroes, villains, triumph, loss, tragedy, but ultimately this message that with your friends and with your loved ones, you can overcome literally anything. And if I had to pick one Lord of the Rings movie, it was gonna be The Return of the King, specifically the extended edition of Return of the King.
I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you. Come on!
A very long film, but one that flies by every time I watch it. In a perfect world, I would watch all three of these if I had time, but I didn't want my entire day to be just The Lord of the Rings, but I'm happy that one of them's here. I think this is the perfect finale to a story. Every arc is completed in a way that I find to be satisfactory, which is very difficult for a film that has this many moving parts, this many characters. A fully realized fantasy world, something that strangely we don't see a whole lot of now, even though we arguably have more resources than we've ever had in film to show a fully realized fantasy world. Peter Jackson did something that we'd never seen before in Lord of the Rings. He adapted something that many people thought you couldn't adapt before. You couldn't do this. He did it by taking massive risks on technology that wasn't used very common at the time. Weta Visual Effects did groundbreaking work here. Howard Shore's musical score is sweeping just as much as the battle sequences are. Just the greatest like army battle sequences you'll ever see in film, but that's really not the reason you're there. You are there for the journey of the Fellowship coming to an end. These heroes, these friends who love one another, genuinely love each other so much that they will do anything for one another. And that holds the series together. It holds Lord of the Rings together. That is the core theme of what Lord of the Rings is. I've never felt happier in my life than when this trilogy ends. Every time it's over, I feel this sense of like, accomplishment. We did it. We came together. My camera just died. This other camera died right here. I think as far as a massive, huge budget epic goes, this is really where the bar is set. And I don't know if many films are ever going to surpass the bar that Lord of the Rings set. Lord of the Rings is perfect. It is an amazing trilogy, and the finale of that trilogy is without a doubt my pick for my last 24 hours. So for Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King being this achievement of narrative and massive blockbuster filmmaking, again, I want to move away from that for the next pick and do something a bit more experimental and different. That thing being a documentary, but a documentary that does not follow the normal rules of documentaries or the normal rules of filmmaking in general, as if it really needs rules in the first place. Koyaanisqatsi kind of proves that the strength of narrative is as worthy of celebration as the absence of it is. This is a bit more of an abstract film. The images here are breathtaking. This is a documentary that forgoes narration or specific subject, yet does have something to say about the world that we live in, and entirely says it through visuals alone, which, if you think of it, it's sort of stripping down what film is supposed to be to its bare minimum. The beautiful, striking image. It sort of tells a narrative of the natural state of balance that humanity is supposed to live within, that the world is supposed to exist in, and it tells a tale of a growing imbalance through faceless consumerism, ever-growing automation, and the destruction of the natural world disguised as innovation. And it says all of this just through its visuals alone, which I think is something worthy of celebration, that reminds me that while you can have great writing and great dialogue, and those things are important, at the end of the day, the story that you should be telling is one that you should be telling with your visuals alone, with the camera, with lighting, with incredible staging and direction, if that's what you're supposed to do to tell a story. This is also a sensory experience in the way that I get to listen to Philip Glass's soundtrack for one last time in this hypothetical scenario. This is an ascendant film. Like when you're watching it, you feel like you're floating. In many ways, Koyaanisqatsi feels like a religious experience, and there's no way I couldn't include it. Speaking of religion, if you know me, and odds are you probably know me from my animation videos or animation-related videos, you more than likely know what my favorite animated film is, one that I've been intending on making a video on for a while, but I just have so much to say about it I wouldn't even know where to start. But to get it out very briefly, The Prince of Egypt.
Sleep and remember my last lullaby, so I'll be with you when you dream.
There is no greater animated film than this, and there never will be, as far as I'm concerned. It just stands so proudly as an achievement of the medium, taking a story that is honestly as old as time, one that the majority of people have heard, and telling it in a unique way that makes you feel like you're experiencing it the first time every time that you watch it. Even if you're not a religious person at all, you don't have to be to appreciate what you're seeing on screen. You just have to go with the story as it's telling it. It is a film about brothers, the drama between two brothers. It is a film of a person who feels this calling to a greater purpose, but knows that that greater purpose might ruin the relationships that they have with others. It's, at the end of the day, a film about recognizing from your place of privilege that people below you are being tread upon, and you cannot ignore it just because you come from where you benefit from those people struggling. And I think that's a message that can come across regardless of your faith or your belief. A musical epic, moving drama, an uplifting masterpiece of filmmaking. It is all that it needs to be, more so, and confidently so. No compromises, no mistakes, no stumbles. I rarely use this term, but I feel like it's applicable, religious belief aside, to use this when talking about The Prince of Egypt. I feel God in the room when I watch this, specifically when I hear Hans Zimmer's soundtrack. When choosing all these films for this video, it was really hard at some points to choose different genres and different styles, but whenever it came to the medium of animation, I knew that Prince of Egypt was going to be my choice. Like, I knew this was going to be it. There was no other option. Moving on, to pick one Kurosawa film. That's a challenge in its own right. A true master of the craft of filmmaking that impacted the medium in more ways than just one person can count. And at the end of the day, it's all based on what you choose, what you prefer, and I think Ikiru is that film. And again, since this is a challenge that sort of takes place in a hypothetical end of a life, I wanted to choose a film that was this meditation on life itself and the deeds that we do, the things that we will leave behind when we're gone. And at the end of the day, what matters? Like, it asks questions of what do we do with the life that we have? What is it that matters in the end? And the end itself doesn't really matter. I don't want to spoil this entire film, but there is this message in it about how what you have to live for is yourself, and you have to live with what you choose to live for. Whether that's your art or the project you're trying to get finished or the people you're trying to benefit, that's what matters. And it's never too late to start thinking about that, even if it's at the end of your life, like the main character in this film. That shot of him sitting in the snow on the swing and singing that song will never not hit me so hard and make me so emotional. And it's kind of the emotions that I want to feel while watching all these movies. That's the emotion that I'm striving for. To me, that's the meaning of life. Like, Kurosawa captured the meaning of life on film, and that's rare to be able to do. That's Kurosawa, that's Ikiru. I'll never recover from it, and I don't want to. Next is Jaws.
I can go slow ahead. Come on down and chum some of this shit.
It's Jaws. Like, what do you want me to say? Really? Like, do I have to sit here and go on about it? Really? If you've watched my channel before and you've seen my other videos, I've mentioned that I've seen Jaws more times than I can reasonably estimate. It is without a doubt the film I have watched the most in my entire life. I've watched it several times with my family. I've watched it several times with friends. It is a rare, perfect film. There's nothing wrong with this movie. That's just it. It's Jaws, and that's my choice. I'm moving on now. And lastly, for the final film to fill out the 24 hours, the 1,440 minutes, there was really no way around it. We all knew what it was going to be. If you know who I am, you know, Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back, my favorite film. I think a lot of people are going to end the day with their favorite movie ever made.
For my ally is the Force, and a powerful ally it is. Life creates it, makes it grow.
Your favorite movie should be something that means something to you. It's the film that maybe made you want to get into filmmaking, the film that maybe made you see art a different way, or maybe it's just the film that entertains you the most. I think Empire does all of that for me personally. I've made a whole video on it already. On my birthday on May the 4th, I made a whole video on it last year. I will be probably doing it again in the future, making another video on this movie and what it means to me in a more detailed breakdown. But if I had to give some reasons here, it's interesting to pick the middle chapter of a trilogy as the one I would end my final day with. And that's strange because this is a film that doesn't resolve the story. It does end in the middle of a story. It ends at kind of a low point. However, it doesn't feel like a low point. Like, the message at the end is, yeah, things are not going well, but with the people that I love, the people that I have with me, the belief that I have in the Force, the belief that I have in the friends that I've made, I will recover. I will do what's right. And I feel like even though I made choices that endangered my life and endangered my friends, I still made the right one because it was for them. That's something that I believe in. That's something that I hold to myself. Yeah, it's the best Star Wars movie. I know a lot of people growing up my age think it's Revenge of the Sith, and while I do love that movie, and probably would have included it here if I had a little more time to pick from, just for the entertainment factor, this is my favorite Star Wars film. This is the one I would consider to be the best, and it's the one I would gladly leave this earth having just watched. So there it is. There's my 12 films. And in case you were wondering, Morgan at the end of his added up how many minutes he got. He got within 3 minutes to spare. Somehow, and I did not plan this, if you add up all my films by minutes together, you get 1,440 minutes exactly. I swear to God, I didn't plan that. This list went through so many iterations. I swear to God, I didn't plan that. It happened to work out. It just worked out. I managed to get it exactly. I swear to God, I wasn't planning it. So that is my films that I would watch within 24 hours left to live. And now, as I do with every video, I'm going to pass that question off to you. You had 24 hours. What would you watch? Leave it in the comments below. Message me on Discord, message me on Patreon, message me on Twitter, whatever you want. Just let me know what your films will be, or any piece of media that you would experience in your last 24 hours. I really would like to know. I love the discussion elements of these kind of videos. I think they make some of the most entertaining videos that I make, and I would like to thank all of my patrons for supporting me, my executive producer patrons, Lapis Lazuli VA and Lizard Gang. I want to thank all of you for watching and supporting me if you want to on patreon.com/MasonIDK. I have another video coming out very soon. Thank you all so much for your patience. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.